Hello, this is Grubby Phil, and welcome to Thoughtful Sci-Fi. Today we are talking about Stranger Things, Season 1. I'm a bit late to the Stranger Things game, I will admit. I started watching it quite a while ago, and other things came up, I just didn't finish it. But I have now, just in time for Season 2. So I'm going to talk briefly about the whole season and my thoughts on it. Everyone's seen it already. I'm sure millions of people have talked about how they feel, so I'm not going to break the whole thing down. Just going to talk about my general feelings leading into Season 2. I like Stranger Things. I don't love Stranger Things. I enjoyed it. I found it fun. I thought the performances were absolutely top-notch all the way through. I don't have a single bad thing to say about anyone who performed in it. I don't have a single bad thing to say about the production. You know, it looked stunning. It did everything that Super 8 failed to do. It is sort of Spielberg 70s, 80s intelligent sci-fi that happens to feature a lot of children but that aren't annoying. It just does it much better. I actually almost, if you remove the computer graphic elements, which we'll get to, you can pretty much believe this was filmed in those days. And I think that's important for this kind of period piece. It's so heavily steeped in the lore and the style of filmmaking from those days. It's got to feel like it was made then. And that's where Super 8 sort of fell apart. Maybe we'll talk about Super 8 one day. So I liked Stranger Things. The computer graphic parts, as always with these sort of heavily period pieces, it kind of let down a little the Demogorgon, but you hardly see it, which is good. I think there were some practical effects for bits of it, and they worked far better. But the big scene at the end with it sort of being destroyed by 11, I thought wasn't great. It wasn't particularly dramatic. Not that I need it to be huge computer graphic-y, but it was sort of small but still computer graphic. And I thought maybe some big light sequences. They used to do a lot in the 80s and 70s in sci-fi movies with lights. Think Close Encounters. Think Star Trek, the first Star Trek picture, the motion picture, about what they could do with lights and the emotion they could bring. Maybe we could have had some of that. The sort of 4-petal opening mouth thing, the sort of multiple jaw. I think we've seen that a few times in monsters recently. Just something a little bit more original and designed for the monster would have been cool. But yeah, so I liked Stranger Things. So why didn't I love Stranger Things? I think for me, the problem with some of these shows on Netflix and on other platforms is they go on a little longer than the story for. Sometimes the problem with a movie can be you don't get time to develop suspense and character and story, and a TV series you get that, and that's fantastic. But here, whereas all the Marvel Netflix TV shows, they could do with being about 8 episodes long instead of 10, 12, 13. Stranger Things, I think, could do with being 5 or 6 episodes long instead of 8. It just didn't draw me in enough to really hold my attention and make me need to watch the next one and the next one and the next one. I don't really know why. It had everything I love. All the pieces were right, and the whole wasn't wrong. It just wasn't as great for me as I would like it to have been. Other people loved it, not to take anything away from that. I can see why you would love it. I can see why you'd be passionate and think it was great. Just didn't quite have that for me. But I will certainly watch the second season. I will watch it. I will try and watch it a little more together than I did the first one, which was sort of fragmented, which probably didn't help with me not really getting into it. Having said that, however, as I didn't feel compelled to continue watching, I guess that's why it wasn't really pulling me in as well. I guess because I didn't feel compelled to continue watching, that kind of speaks to why it wasn't my absolute favourite. But we'll see where it goes. I hope to see more of 11, and I'm sure we will, and more of all the cast, because like I said, the cast really impressed me. We'll see what happens with the whole Upside Down thing next. I'm not that interested in the Upside Down, particularly. I thought one of the weak points is when I thought they were going to explain how it came about with 11 and opening the gate, but luckily they kept that pretty short and pretty light, and I was pleased about that. I don't need every mystery explained. There's the Upside Down, there be monsters, and if you go there, you either die or are pretty heavily traumatized. That's all I really need to know about the Upside Down. I like the mystery. I like that we didn't always have to explain everything, and a lot of these shows now, every single detail has to be back explained. I don't want plot holes, I don't want inconsistencies, I just don't mind a mystery. The story is about the people in our realm. Maybe they never find all the answers. That's okay. That makes it more psychologically disturbing in a way, because you're stuck with this life. You're stuck with this experience for life, and you don't really know what it was. So I'd be cool with that. So I'm not sure what'll happen in season 2. I worry too much will be explained. I kind of like it. It just ended. The Demogorgon was gone. 11 disappeared. There was a little hint of the Ego being left out. You're like, oh, you know, maybe she's alive. Maybe she's somehow getting out to feed and stuff. And I kind of liked where it ended. I hope they have a story for season 2, I suppose is what I'm trying to say. I hope they're not just making a season 2 because, hey, season 1 did really well. Because if that's the case, I wish they developed another similar or completely different, but another sci-fi series, another equally as intelligent and thought out, perhaps period piece sci-fi series. Yes, Stranger Things wasn't amazing for me, but I really respect what they did and what they were trying to do and everything they achieved. I hope they don't weaken that legacy with continued seasons. I hope they strengthen it. I hope they've got more to the story, really more to the story, not just bolted onto the story. Those are my thoughts on Stranger Things. I may do update videos as the series airs, or we shall see. This has been Grubby Phil. Thank you for watching Thoughtful Sci-Fi. I'll see you later.